In this video, I'll show you how to send a product data feed from your Shopify site to Google Merchant Center using free tools and then also a paid tool. Whether you're setting up a brand new Shopify site or making a new product data feed to optimize your product data in Google Shopping ads, we'll cover both those scenarios here. So let's jump right in. I have my Shopify site here. This is a demo shop, and I'm going to use two apps to do this today. The first is the Google and YouTube app. This one's pretty much required. And then this one is Data Feed Watch's product data feed tool, which is a paid tool, but you can use it to optimize your product data and improve your sales in shopping ads. So I'll show you both of these together. And as I'm sharing this, if you want to follow along with a written version of this tutorial, you can get it here. Just follow the link in the description below and you can get access to this. This is a Notion page. You can make a copy, download it as a PDF, review it online. Just find the link in the description below. So I'll walk through all these steps right now. Before you begin, make sure if you have an existing Merchant Center account set up with product IDs, make a note of the product ID format, because what's going to happen is if you're making a new feed and submitting it to an existing Merchant Center account, you don't want to overwrite the product IDs with different ones. You want to overwrite them with the exact same product ID in the exact same format. Otherwise, you'll lose all the historic clicks and sales data from all these items, and that'll drop your sales pretty much to, well, very low initially, and it'll take a while to recover. Note, excuse me, note that even the capitalization matters. So this is uppercase ZZ, and that Shopify is a lowercase s. Even if you just change the capitalization, that will alter the product ID. So using my guide here, I'm just going to make a note of that. Now I've got pretty standard format. This is, as of 2026, we're seeing this format with the ZZ in Shopify. If you're using a different platform like BigCommerce, the same applies. Just check what product ID is going to Merchant Center. If you're making a store or a brand new Merchant Center account, this won't matter. You can just send whatever product ID comes out by default. All right, so I'm making a note of this. I have that format. Now, if it's a different code in Merchant Center, you can usually find that in Shopify by going to your products. And I'm going to go to this t-shirt. I'm going to click on one of the variants. We'll see the small one. In the URL here, I have the product ID and then I have the variant ID. And those two things are being combined with the Shopify _ZZ _ product ID _ variant ID, that pattern. But occasionally I find that if someone's using Simprocess or a different app, the SKU might get submitted. So in that case, just make a note that you're using the SKU. I'll just write that here as if I were, but that's just an example. And then the last thing I'm going to do, just to make sure I don't make any mistakes, is that I'm going to download the whole product feed with this download button at the top right. And that'll download a copy. And that way, if I do change item IDs or something goes wrong, at least I have a copy of what I had before and I can go back and look to see what happened. All right, so with that said, let's add this app. I've already added it, so it says open for me. If you haven't added it, click install. You'll find it here under sales channels, not under apps, because this is actually sales channel. So click that and connect it to your Google Merchant Center account. I've already done that here. I'm not going to show you how because it's pretty straightforward. Let me check these off because I did that. Did that. And I have to connect this to Merchant Center. I've already connected mine. You can see it says active here. When you go to connect this, you'll have to be an admin on the Merchant Center account. And if the Merchant Center account is managed through Google Business Manager, you'll have to be a super admin in Google Business Manager to do this. You'll know which access level you have by checking here. So access and services. So there's me. I'm a super admin and I manage this in Business Manager. So if you have trouble connecting your Merchant Center account, check that, because you might be a super admin, which means you need to add yourself as a super admin to the Merchant Center account for Shopify to allow you to connect that. All right, so assuming that you're connected, now go to settings and scroll down to this section. I've noticed in different countries, this section might look a little bit different. So just try to find the section that says product feed settings, no matter which country, and you should find this in your settings section here. And what we want to do is make sure that the product sync settings, if you click manage, by default, it'll be set to automatic. And what that will do is it'll send all the product data from Shopify to Merchant Center automatically, which is fine, but you won't have the option to optimize the data. And so in this video, I'm going to use the manual option, and then I'm going to use Datafeed Watch as the third-party app. If you don't want to pay for an app, you can just click automatic, and it will send it over. You'll just have to wait. And at that point, you'll be done. Once you see the product data in here, so product data sources, which is under settings, you'll see this. So when you see the data source Shopify app API, source merchant API, that means it's coming from this sales channel. And so if you see that, then you can actually be done. But I want to send optimized data. So I'm going to click automatically, or I'm going to click manually sync. That's what I have it to, so I don't have to press save. And now it won't automatically send the product data. I can send the product data via a third-party tool. While I'm here, I'll just mention that in most cases, you'll want to leave the countries, shipping settings, checkout links, all of this on whatever it's defaulted to. You don't have to change that in most cases, particularly with the shipping settings. You don't want to have to recreate those manually. So I recommend letting this be imported automatically. All right, so let's go back to our checklist. Done that. Turning this off because I'm using Datafeed Watch, leaving all the other settings as is. Now, if you don't use a third-party tool, just make sure to do this. I took a screenshot here to show you, but you'll want to make sure that your products, see how this one, it just shows online store on the channel, whereas this one shows online store on YouTube. If you're using the Google and YouTube app, go to publishing, flip this to on, and then click done. And then save. You don't have to do this if you're doing Datafeed Watch. All right, so let's go back. Close that. We did that. All right, so now I'm going to install Datafeed Watch, which is this app. Mine says open because I've already installed it. I won't show you how to install it because it's straightforward. The pricing is quite low for what you get. You can make a Google, a Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok. You can make all sorts of different channels for that price. So that's actually really great. Let me show you steps after installing that. Let's see, I'm going to take this off because I installed it. And I'm going to go to Datafeed Watch. This is what you would see after you've installed the Datafeed Watch app and waited for it to download data. You can see it's downloaded 57 products here. And that's my shop name. It's called Demo Shop here. So I'm going to click in here. And there's two sections to pay attention to. There's the master field section and the channels section. Channels are the different sales channels. So Google Shopping, Facebook, TikTok, any of those sales channels. That's the first section to pay attention to is channels. The other one is master fields, which you'll have to go through first upon installing Datafeed Watch. I'm going to edit this because I want to make sure that all of these attributes are formatted the way I want them to, look. So I have my ID, title, description. You can see that this is data coming from Shopify. If I just click preview, there's the product title. If I click the description, that's the product description. And now, for the most part, you're not going to have to change any of these because Datafeed Watch defaults them to the generally most helpful settings. But I wanted to make sure that I have my product ID set up just like this. So I've already edited this, but when you come into Datafeed Watch the first time, you might see something like, I don't know, just the variant ID. But what we need is to copy what I had here. So I'm going to copy that and edit it just like it was before using the combine feature. So I'll do enter text, Shopify CZ, and then I'll add the item ID and then the variant ID. And then I'll use an underscore as a separator. And I want to be absolutely sure that I copied the exact format. So I'm going to take this and then I'll go into Merchant Center and I'll look for existing item IDs that match that. Okay, so I can see that exact product ID right there. So I know I got it correct. And in fact, just to be sure, I'll do a couple others. Let's take this one as well. And I'll search for product ID equals apply. Okay, so that one worked. And then I'll check one more. Usually I check 3 to 5 just to be absolutely certain. Okay, and that worked too. So I'm going to call that good. So I've updated that successfully. I'm not going to show you how to optimize the titles because that's a different topic for a different time, but suffice to say that most of this is going to be ready to go. You'll want to check everything. So like, for example, sale price. I don't have sale prices on my store. So that's normal that it's empty. The brand, the size, all these things I would normally check. But today, for the sake of demonstration, I'll skip all that. And what I'll do is I'll click Save and Proceed. And then I'm going to move on to creating the channels, such as Google Shopping, Facebook, etc. And to do that on your end, I already have that set up. I'm going to click Add Channel. This is what you would do the first time. Just click Add Channel, put in your country, put in the channel that you want to use, so Google Shopping. And then I always call it draft when I'm not ready to publish it. And then when I'm ready, I'll switch it to live so that it's clear to me which feed is ready and which is not. Okay. And then these things, we'll just leave those as is for now. Then I'll click Add Channel. Oh, see, I have 2 of these. Let's make it draft 2. And at this stage, I'm going to optimize all the data and make sure that it's perfect for Google Shopping. But I'm not optimizing it for Facebook or Instagram in this channel because this is for Google. When I go to make different channels later, I'll optimize it for those specific product catalogs. So let me go back. I'm going to go into my live product feed that I've already made. And I'll make sure here that I have that correct ID, which I do. I might go through and optimize the titles, the descriptions, etc. But I'll skip that for now. I'll go back to my checklist. Did the master fields, those are good. I created the channel, ensured that the product ID matched. And then I reviewed the attributes. And if you want more information, which you'll end up needing, you can check down at this section to look at more information on every one of the attributes that you're submitting to Google. So there's a title article regarding Google Merchant Center product titles, and you can see information like the format, so max of 150 characters, some examples, and then minimum requirements is especially important. If you're not meeting these, the item will get disapproved and then you'll have to come back and fix it. So now, all right, you go back to the channel, this live channel. So assuming that I've edited all of these titles and optimized them, and then optimized all the other data, and making sure that nothing's missing, I'll click Save and Proceed. And the next step is to exclude items that I don't want. So I've already done this here, but let's say I wanted to make sure that I didn't include any gift cards. In fact, it'd probably be gift card on the site. Like if the title includes gift card, I don't want to make an ad for that. So I'll just exclude that here. Some Shopify sites will also have a shipping setting added as a product, maybe to append to an order that has an extra shipping charge. But I don't want to send that to Google Merchant Center because we're not advertising those. So I'll click Save and Proceed there. And then I'll tick that off. And then adding product categories is the last step. All right, then I'll go into the next step, which is the product categorization. So I'll click Save and Proceed. And here I can use 2 different methods to categorize the products. Categorizing the products means I'm telling Google Merchant Center if this is an apparel product or a healthcare product or a home decor product. You have to give it a category so that Google knows what you're advertising. So in this product categorization section, I can either use the AI auto categorization feature to tell Google Merchant Center what category of products I'm selling, or I can use manual categorization. If you have a lot of different products, I recommend using AI auto categorization and then give Data Feed Watch a field from your Shopify site that designates what the product category is. So for example, some Google or some Shopify sites will use the product category field, and that'll contain something like t-shirts, pants, hoodies, jackets, or sometimes it's in the product type input field. But you'll know what you have once you start this process. In my store, I just have apparel items, so I'm going to make this simple and just do apparel, clothing, and that'll be the category that I use for all the products. All right, so I'll do Save and Proceed. Now at this point, I just have to wait for the feed to process, which takes under an hour if you have just a couple hundred products. If you have tens of thousands of products, this could take more than an hour. Mine, I had 57 products, so it's already done. It doesn't take that long. And now what I can do is I can copy that feed URL. I'll take that to Merchant Center, and then I'll go to Data Sources. And then I'm going to delete any existing sources. So for example, I don't want the Shopify source, so I'm going to delete that. And that won't come back now that I've deleted it because I've set the setting in here to not automatically upload. So if you keep getting the Shopify channel coming back, it's probably because you haven't set this to manual. So I've set that to manual, so it won't keep coming back here. And now I've already added this product feed here, but just for an example, I'll add it again. So I'll do add products from a file. I'll paste that link in, and that's the link that I got from right here. So I pasted that in here. I'm going to set the countries that I want the products to show in. So I have the United States, although I could add more like Canada, for example, because Canada also has English speakers. I'll set the language. I'll default it to English. And then I want to have this go to all the marketing methods. So free, listing, shopping ads, and display ads. And then I'll just hit continue. And now I'll wait for this to process. You can see it's processing here. While it's processing, I'm going to make one change. I don't want it to be named product source 2. I want to name it something that makes it easy for me to find. So I'll call it data feed watch dash, and then I'll actually come back to data feed watch and go to my shop. And then typically what I'll do is I'll copy the shop or the channel ID and the channel name. You can do this however you'd like, but my team and I typically do it this way so that we can make it really clear which source file is being used. So I'll hit save, and I have 2 of these, so I'm going to do 2 because I've already uploaded this. And then after I wait for that to upload, I'll have what we see here in the top, which is already uploaded because I did this yesterday. I'll have that file here with the number of products listed. Let me actually delete this for now because we don't need that one. That was just for an example. And once the products are listed here, I can go into the products section of the store, and then I can start doing the real work of optimizing feeds, which is checking products that are disapproved and getting them approved by updating the product data that they're receiving. So right here, I have all my products listed, and I'll see the title that I wanted to send. That's there. I can further optimize that in Data Feed Watch. Let's see, I see quite a few products. We'll just say that's all that I was expecting. And once I have all that I'm expecting in here, I can start clicking to each one. And you can see that I had a limited status on this product. So I'll click needs attention to see what's going on. And here I just have a pending initial review status, which means I just need to wait longer for this to get reviewed by Google Merchant Center and approved for use in ads. You might run into other problems like, let's see what happened here. Something's wrong here. So missing product image. So that one, I just need to add that data into the feed. Somehow it's missing. And there's a lot of different products issues that you might run into. I can't cover how to fix them all on this video, but I'm leaving a set of troubleshooting notes at the bottom of the walkthrough for you to use. So for example, if you get a disapproval for unapproved pharmaceutical and supplement, that might come up, in which case you can click that link and just start looking through all of the unapproved terminology that Google might be flagging your product for. If you have, well, let's see, shopping ads policies, problems might be coming up. Like maybe Google thinks that you're selling an alcoholic product when you're not. All of these can come up while you're submitting product data. And what you'll need to do is just carefully read the policy and then try to understand why Google might be misunderstanding the product data that you've given it and disapproving the product. So here's all the information that you'll need to check that out. Let's make sure I've done everything. So I added the product category, deleted old fields, I submitted the new fields, and I'm just waiting for that last step. All right, so that's it. We're all done setting up the feed for now. I just need to come back later and see that those pending approval items get approved. So that's it. You're done. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and good luck advertising.